What's going on, everybody, tonight? Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome tonight to the Big Time Show podcast. On tonight, a very special one. I consider this special for a reason I'm going to tell you now. Doing something just slightly different. Hey, to everyone that is on, I hope that you would share. I'm doing that right now as we are being seen live here on the Spotlight Sports Network, and we are being heard live on Podbean as we speak. And of course, we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I forgot the other one. But also the replay is being heard on iHeartRadio, on Pandora, and everywhere else where you may listen to your podcast, which of course is also on Google Podcasts as well. Listen to those that may be on Podbean. If you want to join in on the live audience, you need to go to my YouTube channel now, The Big Time Show. Just find that and find my face. By now, you guys ought to know who I am. The Big Time Show podcast. Go there now. I am live there now. If you see all the handles here, I'm live on Twitter now. If you need that one, I'm at Big Time Lou. At Big Time Lou. All lowercase. It's very easy. At Big Time Lou. You can go there now as well. If you're on Facebook, which most of you are, you can go simply to the Big Time Show. I am live there now. I am sharing now. Hope that you guys will do the same as we do something different. I posed a question tonight to my followers and my patrons of the show, and those that subscribe to my podcast, as I guess is showing some type of appreciation. I wanted them to kind of dictate the show. It's not kind of. I wanted them to dictate the show tonight, where they would pick all the topics, and I would just give my opinion on it, I guess, or I guess they wanted to talk about it, and I guess we'll see that in the chat. And forgive me for not looking in the chat yet. I'm coming. I'm just still sharing right now. And you'll be surprised, as much as I talk about the Cowboys, everybody, you'll be surprised that my group, nobody wants to talk about the Cowboys. So they're going to make me go to another level in my little podcasting career, which I'm a sports guy anyway, so I can talk about anything. It's just that I choose to talk about the Cowboys all the time. Y'all know why. I love them. There's no doubt about that. The Cowboys give me something to talk about every single day. But I want to set aside Cowboy talk for today and talk about what my people wanted me to talk about. So they dictated this show. So it's going to sound all over the place. I'm going to tell you that now because they picked it out. And that's what we're going to roll with today. Hey, what's up, Chill Wheel? It's Ty in the house. What's going on? Let me speak to everybody here that is spoken on here. Coach Dante, what's up, man? Yes, sir. The Snake Sports Talk Show. Jake in the house. What's going on? Key, what's up, man? I see y'all. My brothers are here from the Spotlight Sports Network. Appreciate the support, gentlemen. Thank you for coming tonight. I want to talk Cowboys, but my people have changed it up on me. They didn't say nothing about Cowboys, so I'm gonna try to stick with what they asked me to talk about. All right. There are three items that we're gonna talk about tonight. One is in football, the NFL. One is in college basketball, and then one is in the NBA. So that's not what I do, but I can because I know about it. Let's start off with what they want to talk about first. By now, everyone has seen the video. Everyone has seen Coach Juwan Howard of the University of Michigan in his skirmish, I guess whatever you want to call it, with the Wisconsin head coach, in which the Michigan Wolverines lost. They lost badly. In which you guys should know the background by now if you sports. If you don't, the coach was calling timeouts at the end, which is kind of like an unwritten rule. Coach, with seconds left, and Coach Howard didn't like it, ticked him off, no doubt about it. And at the end, where everyone shake hands, you know how the guys line up and shake hands at the end of the game. Coach Howard was already hot. You could see him whispering. He had his mask on. He was saying something to Coach then from Wisconsin. But the Wisconsin coach put his hands on him, and that escalated the whole situation. Coach Howard was already bad, had already had something to say. He put his hands on him, and from that, a little pushing and shoving, and then Coach Howard comes and slaps an assistant coach, slaps an assistant coach, and obviously we knew what was going to happen then. And just a few minutes ago, maybe about another 45 minutes ago, the suspension did come down on Coach Juwan Howard. He's suspended for the rest of the regular season, which is nothing but 5 games. And then if they play any type of postseason play, which they probably won't make the NCAA tournament this year, there's a possibility that they may make the NIT bubble or whatever, the NIT. And if that is the case, he then can coach from that point on. So he got suspended. That's the story in a nutshell. Let's push the stop button and rewind button, and let's look at this thing in depth, because my people want to talk about it. I guess they want me to give my opinion on it. First things first, let's get the thing right, because I don't want to start it off on the wrong foot. Coach Howard was wrong. Okay, let's establish that without a doubt. The swing was unnecessary. No doubt about it. What's up, Joe? Joe is from Italy, who consistently comes on. Joe, as I said, man, look, this show is going to be different. There's no cowboy talk today. It's my people, my patrons of the show and my supporters. I did this kind of like a Freestyle Monday show, in which they would kind of produce in their own way the show. So I'm talking about what they want to talk about tonight. So, and unfortunately, surprisingly, I'll say that, surprisingly, none of my people that gave me suggestions of what to talk about tonight or what they wanted me to talk about was not Cowboy related. So I will not be talking about the Cowboys on tonight. Tune in with me a little bit later this week, and definitely on Saturday, because there is news in Cowboy land. You just won't hear about it tonight. Coach Howard was wrong. Okay, I don't want to give the wrong impression tonight. He was wrong. The swing on the assistant coach was unnecessary. It really was. There are unwritten rules in sports, and in the area of college basketball, when the game is over, you don't call timeouts, and unless in college basketball, what used to happen was when they call a timeout late, the sole purpose of it was to put somebody in who usually doesn't get in at all. Guys that are on the end of the bench, walk-ons. Give them some time on the court, no matter how long that is, whether that's for 25, 30 seconds. That's usually what it was. That was not the case last night. He called a timeout. Someone's shoe came off and all that kind of stuff. Coach Howard got upset at that and went ahead and carried that over to the handshake. Now, there's an argument that could be said that, you expect that out of players, but a coach should carry it carry it to another level as far as when they get upset. They should be the bigger person, quote unquote, stuff like that. I agree totally. Coach Howard was real hot, and he let it linger. Now, what is ridiculous out of all of this is that, I'll get to that later. Part 2. Now, nobody wants to talk about the coach of Wisconsin stopping Coach Howard putting his hands on him. Now, Coach Howard is already hot, and then this guy stops him, puts his hand in his arm, kind of stops him and keeps him there, which only adds more fuel to the fire. That's all that does. Number one, let's just be honest, the coach from Wisconsin then becomes wrong too. He's wrong, at least from the standpoint of something very simple that should be understood. Don't put your hands on me. That's the bottom line. Don't put your hands on me. It's just that simple. That I don't think that the coach from Wisconsin should be. I'll say he should not be even suspended. Nothing. Because he didn't put his hands on him in a violent type way. If you listen to what he had said, he was trying to, have a small conversation and explain why he called the timeout. Coach Howard was not hearing none of that. He was already on fire, and he didn't want to hear nothing like that. He didn't want to hear no explanation. But at the same time, even though he was no ill intent why he put his hand on him, the bottom line is this. Now, I don't know how other people raise, but look, if I don't acknowledge you with your voice, the last thing you need to do with me is put your hands on me. I know I got some folks out there that kind of agree with what I'm saying. I know it's the truth. Don't put your hands on me now. That's what Coach Howard, that's what carried him to the real level. Like, don't put your hands on me. It's not necessary. If I don't want to talk to you, I just don't want to talk to you. I just keep walking. You keep walking. I keep walking. That's it. We'll talk it out in the press. But don't put your hands on me. So in that area, the coach from Wisconsin, forgive me for not knowing his name, has already slipped my head. But he was wrong, at least from my perspective, that he shouldn't even put his hands on him, period. And then after that, because more fuel had been put on the fire, Coach Howard then is backed up by his team. The coach from Wisconsin is backed up by policemen or security. And then Coach Howard comes forward. Assistant coach is there. And Coach Howard comes back and swings on the guy. Totally wrong. Because his beef wasn't with the assistant coach. His beef was with the coach. Now, what we don't know, because the camera was the back of the assistant coach's head was, the back of his head was being shown by the camera. What is not mentioned is, okay, what did he say? Because Coach Howard was very accurate in swinging at him. He just wasn't swinging in the air. He swung at him, which tells me, I can't say what he said, but I think it's safe to assume that he did say something, obviously, that Coach Howard did not like. And Coach Howard didn't like it enough to where he did swing on him. So that's pure speculation. I'm just going to assume that something was said that he did not like. And he did it. Now, from that point on, more fuel is put on the fire because now the players are swinging on each other. A couple of players were swinging on each other, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are suspended as well. The NCAA is a tight organization that, they come down hard on things like that. Now, two things about that, and then I move on. And I'm not seeing too many comments about the situation. I saw Karam, who said Juwan Howard is suspended. I see that there are two things left that I kind of want to pull out, I guess. The question becomes, someone on Podbean just asked, he said, do I think that Coach Howard should be let go? And me personally, I don't think so. However, I wouldn't have been surprised if he did get fired. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I think that was D that asked the question on Podbean. Appreciate you, man, for popping in. The only reason why I said I wouldn't be surprised because of the time that we live in now. D Mac on Podbean, listen, it's just a different time. Things that we got away with, what coaches got away with 15, 20 years ago, they wouldn't even stand a chance today. The issue came up earlier today. I heard someone talk about, well, man, considering what Bobby Knight did, the former coach of Indiana, Bobby Knight, and, all throwing chairs and snatching, some of his team by the jerseys and all that, and putting your hands on the guys, that stuff wouldn't work now. So you can't really compare today to yesterday. We're living in a time now where you could just say the wrong thing and you'll lose your job. Back then, you could say almost anything and the university would be behind you. That's how crazy it is now. You don't have to get in the type of physical altercation. You don't have to even get physical, period. You could just say the wrong thing and lose your job. That's the kind of world that we live in now. I take you back to Donald Sterling, the former owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, that was just his words. And he had to sell his team. I mean, come on. Come on now. You could just say something now, and your whole world could turn upside down. You could say the wrong thing, wrong calling out of somebody's name, wrong point of view, gender-wise. You could say the wrong thing about someone's sexuality, and your whole world will flip, especially if you have the spotlight of the media. So that's the kind of world we're living in, and I'm quite sure there are many that have called for Juwan Howard's job. I believe that. Exactly, D-Mac. That's what I was saying. With Bobby Knight there, man, look, what Bobby Knight used to do, he wouldn't have made it half the season if it was today. No doubt about that. As great a coach as he was, he just had a different way. Those old school coaches, those ways, pretty much almost dead now. You just can't do it no more. It's a different type of athlete, different sensitivity level. Yeah, I said that. When I was playing ball, every coach I had screamed and cussed me out. Every one of them. Football and basketball, especially football. That was just part of the package. We got cussed out. And some of you may not know how old I am. I'm 49 years old. So, I'm talking about I graduated high school in 1991. So, y'all young kids, y'all young, we were raised a little differently playing ball and basketball. You can't do it hardly no more. I ain't calling nobody soft. I'm just saying things are slightly different now. That's what I'm saying. Lot of coaches would lose their. The coaches that I had, nobody would coach. Nobody would be coaching back from my day to today. Nobody. Your job be gone. Joe says my personal opinion is nobody should put hands on anyone that goes from player to coaches. I agree. I believe, like I said, I don't want to be mistaken. Coach Howard was wrong. He was wrong for letting his emotions get that high, if you ask me. But in the heat of battle, you know, you really can't say how somebody's supposed to react because they're in the heat of battle. So I can't say that. I do know that the other coach was wrong for even putting his hands on him as far as stopping him. When Coach Howell, obviously, if you've seen the video, you know he wanted to keep walking. And that just turned everything around. Now, the last thing I will say about this is this ridiculous concept that I've heard from people saying, why don't we just stop the handshake? The game is just over. The players are still high. They're still emotionally high or emotionally distraught. Somebody won. That team jumping around, happy. The other team lost, and you got some members who are crying. Why do they have to immediately shake hands? This is it's not force. It's just an unwritten type of rule that when the game is over, everybody shake hands. Football, you got some guys who run and do that. Then you got some guys in football who just go straight to the locker room. Many do, actually. But in basketball, at least in college basketball, the unwritten rule is that all the team line up, get in a straight line, and shake everybody's hand. And that includes the coaches. And someone has said, why don't we just get rid of the handshake? Why don't we just get rid of it? And I'm saying, like, we're just overblowing things. I mean, this is just one incident. Do you know how many college basketball games have been played this year? It's just unbelievable. We're over exaggerating totally this incident. We're blowing it way out of proportion. You had this one incident, but you done had at least 600-700 basketball games that have happened, and this incident hadn't happened. So I don't know why people are just overblowing it crazy like that. I don't think that's necessary. I think guys just got to get, slight control or whatever. It is what it is. It's not in all sports. They don't do that in baseball. Guys just go straight to the dugout in baseball. It's just that simple. I don't think that. Yes, D-Mac says keep the handshake. I guess he agrees with me. He says, so Coach Howard's been suspended for the rest of the season. He has. There's only 5 games left, D-Mac. They suspended him. That just came out maybe about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, that he has been suspended for the rest of the season, 5 games. If they are to make any type of postseason run, I don't NIT, or if they make the tournament, then he can come back and coach then. So grateful that he didn't lose his job. Okay, he did not lose his job. I believe some folks called for his head. They called for him to lose his job. I'm glad it didn't get to that point. And this all be forgotten about in another few weeks in the first place. So especially if Michigan don't make any type of tournament, this will be swept under the rug. But it's just a hot topic in sports today. Real hot, and it's gotten a lot of coverage from everywhere. I even saw CNN. You know what I'm saying? CNN even talked about it. And I'm like, we're blowing this thing way out. In my opinion, we're blowing this thing way out of proportion. Way out of proportion, if you ask me. Even with the incident that Coach Howard and him slapping the guy or swinging on the guy, to me, it's still blown way out of proportion. Way out of proportion. It is what it is. So, yeah, exactly, Joe. That's what I was saying earlier about Bob, comparison to what a lot of other coaches did, back in the day, like Bobby Knight, as you can see what Joe is saying here. It's just on Podbean. I know you can't see it. He said, I remember Bobby Knight throwing a chair across the floor. That ain't all Bobby Knight did. But, that was a different time, and more sensitivity is now in the game now. And I'm really not calling nobody soft. I'm just saying it's a different type of athlete today, and that goes across every sport. It's just a different type of athlete, and things that you could do to college kids 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't even dare do it now. You just won't do that. Max says you just never see that type of stuff happen in college basketball. That's why everyone is blowing it out of proportion. I agree totally with that statement that Max Coverage TV just brought out on YouTube. I agree with that statement 100%. That because he's just not normal or it's not common, things kind of get highlighted a little bit more, and that's what has happened here. So I'm just grateful that Coach Howard did not lose his job. That's the bottom line. He did not lose his job. Let me get to the next issue that my people wanted me to talk about tonight. Thank you for hanging with me. Listen, if you're not following me on my YouTube channel, please do that. You see the information being ran across the ticker there. And I have all the other stuff that's there, all the other social media platforms that are there in my handles, as you can just follow that, help your boy out. I would appreciate it. There are opportunities there. You want to subscribe to the show or cash app the show, the information is right there on the ticker. If you're on Podbean, that red bag that you have that says reward bag, you can do that now. And of course you can follow me there as well, and I'd appreciate it. Second thing that my people wanted to talk about was Anthony Davis. As you guys know, I am a Laker fan. I am a diehard Laker fan. 1979, when it all started for me. 6 years old, Magic Johnson comes to the Lakers. Been a fan ever since. Okay, so I am qualified to talk about my team. I don't have a second team. I live right here in Memphis. Some folks say, you don't like the Grizzlies? Yeah, I like the Grizzlies. They're good. I like them. They're not my favorite team, though. Just because I live in Memphis don't mean that I'm supposed to be automatically a home. My team is the hometown team. That's not the case with me. That's just not. It's kind of like folks saying, you live in Tennessee, you live in Memphis, you're not a Titan fan. No, I'm not. No. I still call the Tennessee Titans the Houston Oilers. You see? Yeah, you got to know your history for that. I'm not a Titan fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't know no other team but the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know no other basketball team but the Lakers. So I'm qualified to talk about the Lakers, and I feel like I'm qualified to talk about my current Lakers, in which is a LeBron James team. Hey, Terry, that's right. You with me. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm going to talk about, Terry. There's a LeBron James team. LeBron James essentially put this team together, as he has done everywhere he's went. He is one of the rare basketball players that has ever had this much power, where he can complain about a coach and they will fire the coach. He's done that in his days in Cleveland, as we know. He switches up a roster, usually right around this time, All-Star break. He does it every year where they make trades to try to get them to the finals. A lot of stuff that has worked. He is the reason that Anthony Davis is in Los Angeles, no doubt about it. He is the reason that Russell Westbrook is in Los Angeles. He is the reason that Carmelo Anthony is in Los Angeles. So this is his team. They're older and they play like it. They play no defense. We're not good. This bottom line, I'm a Laker fan, still gonna be one. But my people wanted me to talk about Anthony Davis, and the question was asked, should we trade Anthony Davis? That was the proverbial thing. Should we trade Anthony Davis? Exactly. Yeah. Coach Dante said he definitely put the game together. Never been big on rebuilding and developing young players. Exactly. He's been in a win now mode for the last 12 years. And to his credit, he has done it. If he didn't win it, he was there primarily. So you can't argue, if he put it together, the man played in, I believe, 10 finals, and he's won obviously 4, and he's lost 6. But how many players can honestly say, I've been to, you got to go way back to the old Celtics and the Lakers and all that, the old 80 Lakers, maybe something close to that, for a man to say, listen, I played in 10 finals. I played in 10. That's incredible by itself. So I give him credit because he does that. But the question is, should we trade away Anthony Davis? And Lord have mercy, I may need to take a blood pressure medication now because I feel it coming now. To answer the question blatantly, and I guess go into detail, yeah. At this point, we should trade Anthony Davis. Based off of this and this alone, if you trade Anthony Davis now, you're going to get something back for him. No doubt about that. You're going to get a ton for him. And I know someone's saying, well, he stay hurt. Listen, I understand. He does. But if you trade him now, or, it's too late to trade deadline to come. Plus, LeBron is not going to let Anthony Davis go. But if it come a point now, Terry, maybe you appreciate what I'm getting ready to say here, since you're a Laker fan like I am. It comes to a point that at a certain level, or really, again, a certain point, the organization has to do what's best for the organization and not the player. So that stuff is good 2-3 years ago, where you were catering to LeBron for everything. It's time that the Lakers tell LeBron, you do realize that the Laker organization is going to go on once you leave here, right? We do want to be competitive, We do want to be in the playoffs because the NBA is better when the Lakers are in the playoffs. We don't want to be a lottery pick every year. That's what happens to every team that you left. They become lottery picks. We don't want that for our team. We need to stand up. We know your feelings going to get hurt. We know you're going to complain. We know you're going to cry in the media. We know you're going to act a fool. We know you ain't going to be whatever. We need to trade Anthony Davis to make ourselves ready for the next probably 4 to 5 years. You're not going to be here in 4 to 5 years. This is not 8 years ago where everything is all about LeBron. He's getting ready to retire in the next 2 to 3 years. It's time to start looking toward the future. You're not going to get anything. Well, you will get something for LeBron now, but LeBron is going to roll out his contract, and whenever his son comes in, that's who he's going to play with. So we ain't talking about trading LeBron. Trade Anthony Davis. Get some more weapons in here so we can be competitive in the next 5 to 6 years. Anthony Davis was not healthy in New Orleans. He wasn't healthy in Kentucky. And he's getting worse week after week with the Los Angeles Lakers. He can't stay healthy. He almost reminds me of Tyron Smith of the Cowboys. It's not a matter of if he's going to get hurt. It's when. Anthony Davis, can he play 1 week without getting hurt? And every time he get hurt, it's always for an extensive period of time. You can't win like that. Not when your quote unquote big time player is on the sideline. He remind me of Bill Walton. Great player. Stays hurt. And then here's the other thing that we need to start. Check me out, Terry. I don't know who else a Laker fan on it, but check me out, Terry. We need to kill this myth about Anthony Davis by saying he's a top 5 player in the league. I don't know what top 5 y'all talking about. Huh? Yeah. Now, somebody said he's a top 5 talent in the league. D-Mac, I don't know who to trade him for. Just give me a whole lot for him. And with his contract being, you got to give me at least one superstar back. Now, who that superstar is, I don't know. But if I'm trading Anthony Davis, I got to have at least one superstar to come back to LA and then give me some role players. I got to have that. Sound like a Portland deal to me, not just off the top. I'd love to have Damian Lillard, even though I know he ain't coming. That's what I'm talking about. You got give me somebody for somebody, because you'll have these training the training staffs would say about Anthony Davis, cinemas, we have the type of training staff that can handle these injuries and we can make him better and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. Ship him on. He's not helping me. He's not. The reason why he was brought here is to become the man. And LeBron is still the man. He was supposed to start taking a back seat to him. And Anthony Davis is not a top 5 player in the league. And I'm saying he was not a top 5 player when he was healthy. Top 5 talent, that could be debated. Because I'm giving him his credit. He can do things that a lot of people can't do. To be that tall, have handles like he have, can shoot from outside, obviously can play inside, great defender, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But it does no good when he's sitting in street clothes every day. That's where he is. You can't even build momentum. Just when the Lakers might try to build a little momentum, then he goes down and, we right back. The Lakers are 9th in the Western Conference now. 9th. AD gets hurt. I just can't see us. We trying to just make the play-in game. I'm quite sure it would have been that way if AD would have been playing. But he gives me this same thing every year. He's not healthy. He's got a bad look, injury vibe. That's what he has. And he is not worth it to me. Now, y'all may think he's worth it. That's fine. I ain't got no problem with it. He's not worth it to me. He's not. And so is with the trade deadline is passed, AD will be a member of the Lakers, all this kind of stuff. But look, we got to start making some decisions for the future. And AD ain't, even when LeBron leave, what happened when AD get? Like I said, y'all at least y'all know I'm not lying. This man stay hurt every year. He stays hurt. Soon as he come back, he'll come back from about 3 games. Right out of that, he messes his leg up. He twists his ankle. Then they say he out for 4 to 5 weeks. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. He's not a top 5 player. Even when he was healthy, he was not a top 5 player. I'm going to carry y'all a step further. I'm still, I don't know how Anthony Davis made the 75th anniversary team. I don't get that. How? Just in case y'all don't know, Anthony Davis is a member of the 75th anniversary team that y'all saw at the All-Star game last night. He got his jacket and You know, he got his little slacks to go with it and jogging pants, whatever he got. He's a member of the 75th all NBA all anniversary team. I don't know. I don't get that. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how. I could name some guys who should have been there before Anthony Davis. Good Lord. He's not a he ain't done enough. Somebody said, well, he won a championship. He was heavily a factor in us winning the championship from a couple years ago in the bubble and all that. He was, no doubt about that. And we couldn't have won it without him. I give him that. I will, no doubt. He was very effective and all that kind of stuff. He stayed healthy, at least enough to where he could finish out the playoffs. So I will give him credit for that. I will. But other than that, what has he done? He scored all them points in New Orleans. New Orleans wasn't even making the playoffs. He scored all them rebounds. He wasn't even making the playoffs. And the day was scoring 28, 29 points a game with New Orleans. Didn't get him nowhere. Couldn't carry the team. Yeah, I know. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I know. He's not that guy. He's just not. And so I in order to give me some guys who, number one, are gonna be on the court when we line up. That's what I need. I need some available players. That's what I need. I need a superstar for Anthony Davis. I need that. And then let's just go ahead and roll after that. LeBron is getting ready to retire. We shouldn't be catering to him no more. We got to start getting ready for the future. Father Time is going to catch up to LeBron. It hadn't, he slowed down just a little bit, but he's still the man. He's still dominant when he want to be. He still can get the job done, but he's 37 years old. He don't have nothing more than maybe 2 more years, maybe. And he keeps himself in great shape, obviously. But Father Time, the knees can only take so much. This kid been playing basketball since he was a teenager, consistently. It's the few times that he did get injured, it was a miracle. In his 18th year. I mean, like, he's not been hurt really injured when you look at look at the whole picture. Anthony Davis, on the other hand, good Lord. I mean, he been hurt since he got drafted. He was limping at the draft when he got drafted. I mean, come on, man. Anthony Davis, he stepped out of bed. Oh Lord, he twisted his ankle. He twisted his ankle. Terry Turner says, cut your losses and trade. LA deserves a star like Ja Morant. Hold the presses right there, Terry. Now, I just said I'm a Laker fan, and that's it. I said, but I live here in Memphis, and I'm not a Grizzly fan, but I like them. I like the Grizzlies. Look, we don't have here in Memphis superstars. Our biggest superstar to this day is Jared the King Lawler. and that's wrestling. That is our biggest superstar, other than, of course, Elvis. Ja Morant is the first superstar that this organization has had. We had some good players. I mean, Memphis has some good players now. Zach Randolph is going to be getting some Hall of Fame conversation when it's all said and done. Mark Gasol, good player for us. Mike Conley. I'm naming the cornerstones of the Grizzlies organization, and Tony Allen, who introduced the grit and grind concept here in Memphis. Those are the 4 players. Memphis has never had. Terry said AD came to the draft in an ambulance. It's just the truth. Memphis has never had it, so I can't agree with you, Terry. I want Memphis to keep Ja. We need him here in Memphis. He brings a vibe to this city that the only person that had this type of vibe here in Memphis, may not be nationwide, but who had the city in the palm of his hand, was Penny Hardaway, who's here from Memphis. Of course, is coaching the University of Memphis basketball team where he played. Penny had that type of appeal, still has that type of appeal here in Memphis, where he's a favorite son of Memphis, Tennessee. Him and Jerry Lawler, those are 2 other guys you want to throw Elves in. So, no, I don't want Ja to leave Memphis at all. So, I don't even want him to come to L.A. But I get what you're saying. That's the type of showtime that we need for that. Exactly. There's that Lance Russell. There you go. Exactly. So no, that superstar I don't want. I want Dame Lillard in Los Angeles. That's who I want. I want Dame. Leave Ja right here in Memphis. We're not gonna mess up the city. We're not gonna mess up the city. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, because Memphis is not a free agent attraction. So it's going to be hard for free agents to come to Memphis. And Memphis, really, to be honest, I live here, so I know what I'm talking about. Memphis really does not have really a lot to offer compared to the big cities, of course. Your Chicagos and the LAs and the, Miamis, New York City, and all that kind of stuff. Memphis can't even hold a candle to that. We don't have nothing here really to offer, but we can offer you a steak in a building or something like that. We can offer you a slab of ribs. We can offer you that. We can't offer you nothing, not really down here. Somebody may offer them a steak in the casinos that's, right down the street in Tunica, Mississippi. But we don't have really nothing to offer like the big cities. So you're right. We had to draft kind of like the Grizzlies did and move from there. That's the only way. But Ja hopefully will stay here. But Anthony Davis needs to get out of LA, to me. I'm sick of him. Yeah. Well, you got a great GM over there, Karam, and Sam Presti, who's always done well with players acquisitions. The list goes on and on, going back to James Harden and Russell and KD being on the same team. I mean, good Lord. Ibaka and all those guys. So you got a great GM over there that knows what he's doing. So you're right. You should feel good about the future. Because the organization is in good hands with him. But I hope that answered my people's question. Hey, Scott KD, AD, Anthony Davis. The question was asked by my people who support my podcast. They wanted me to say my thoughts on Anthony Davis and should he be traded. My answer is quickly. Yeah. I can't trust him. Yeah, Joe said he a Rocket fan. It's hard to watch them now. Well, y'all just in rebuilding mode. And before AD, tears his leg up and LeBron retires, and then you look around and say, okay, what we got? Nothing. Trade away an asset and get a ton for him. You would get a ton of stuff back for Anthony Davis, including a couple draft picks. He still would warrant a draft like that, even though he's hurt, because you put this guy, if some kind of way he can stay healthy, You put him on a team, I just throw up a team just like now, like OKC. I'm just throwing out because I see the symbol there. I mean, come on. If he can stay healthy, look out. I mean, I say that because he gonna give you 20 a night, the minimum. 20 a night. He gonna give you double-digit rebounds. He's gonna be a defensive player of the year candidate. No doubt about that. I give him his credit when he's healthy, but he never is. I'm just ready for the Lakers. The Lakers have to stand up to LeBron and say, look, man, this is not Miami and Cleveland now. Look, I know. We already catered to you once. You got the championship, but look, we got to move on. We got to play basketball in the year 2025 and 2026. You ain't going to be here. You can't hold. We can't keep bringing all these old folks in just because you think you can win with them and trade away our assets and all that kind of stuff. No, we got to start preparing for the future. That's what the organization needs to start saying. If LeBron poke his mouth out, if his lip is hanging, so be it. So be it. We're not going to win the title this year. The Lakers will not win the title. We got to start thinking about the future now. Now. We need to start bringing get some folks in that going to play defense. Because Russell Westbrook ain't playing no defense. Carmelo Anthony never has played defense, even when he was young. LeBron not a great defender like he used to be years ago. So we got to start thinking about the future. And it's time now to do it. We're not winning the championship. What are we going to do? Bring these same old folks back next year? Good Lord. No. We got to do something. We got to do something. Quickly. All right? That's what they said about Anthony Davis. Now I'm saving the best for last because I already know some of y'all going to get mad now. All right? Joe says, LeBron said before he retired he wanted to play with the same team with his son, even if he has to play for less money. Well, it's common sense, Joe. That is going to happen. That statement is going to happen. LeBron's contract is over in 2 years. His son he's a senior. He's going to play 1 year of college, and then he's coming out. That's 2 years. So LeBron will be a free agent, unrestricted, and his son will be coming out, and his son is going to be good enough to be a lottery pick. He's not going to be the number one pick in the draft and all that, but he should be a lottery pick. And wherever his son goes, I'm expecting LeBron to follow him right there. And if he's a lottery pick, that obviously means he's going to a bad team. And what that also means is LeBron will close out playing with his son with a bad team. And LeBron is going to make that team better, even at his age where he'll be at. And you'll see that's what's going to happen. He just wants that joy of playing with his son. LeBron is a billionaire. Of course, money don't mean nothing to him. Not a little. You know, that ain't going to mean nothing. He just want to be there and play with his son, show him the ropes, probably show him the NBA life. Make sure he cover him. Don't fall into these traps. Women traps. Money traps as far as materialistic things. His father can show him. He'll be right there with him. I personally love it. We'll never see that again. I don't think. It's going to be hard to see a father play with his son in the NBA. I mean, you had to wait on him. Terry said today his son is a second round of scout. I think, but when it's all over, I know that, Terry. You're absolutely right. I just think when it's all over, he's going to be in the first round. And if he's in high school now, and you're saying he's a second rounder, so he's a top 50 player coming out if he was to start playing right now. But that's only going to improve. It's all also going to depend on where he goes to school. And there are some programs that can get him ready in 1 year. I would say Coach Krzyzewski and Duke, but this is his last year. So, I mean, I know he got his assistants there in another one, but right here in Memphis is a place where a lot of one and dones are happening. Penny has a coaching staff that's coached in the NBA. Penny, of course, we all know, was a great ball player. So he can get them ready here. No doubt about that. Get them ready real quick. Plus, LeBron loves Penny Hardaway, too. Let me just throw that in. I'm not saying this all day, but if you know anything about LeBron, it's been well documented. He loves Penny. So I wouldn't be surprised that if Penny, at some point offers him a scholarship to come to Memphis. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to come to Memphis. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Trust level is there for Penny already with LeBron. So, you got to start factoring all this stuff, typing, all that in when you start talking about that. But regardless, he gonna play with his son. And that's when LeBron will retire. He'll play 1 year with his son, barring injury. That's when I think he'll hang it up. So we're talking at least another 2 years. All right. Last set was Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. in baseball. It's rare. The father would have to wait a pretty good while, to make something like this happen, whatever sport. LeBron has waited 18 years. He had his son young, of course. It works out that LeBron has played this long and he's just 37. It's amazing once you think about it. So I believe that's going to happen. Now, I'll close out with this tonight. And you guys are going to get mad. The last thing my people wanted me to talk about, I'm surprised I ain't said nothing about my Dallas Cowboys. This is the first show I think I ever done. I ain't said nothing about them, but we're going to stick to the program. The last thing they wanted me to talk about is Coach Brian Flores' situation. And this is where I figure it's about to get a little sticky here. I hope you guys vibe with me on this. If you don't agree, it's all right. This is just my perspective. By now, Coach Flores, how he was let go from the Dolphins, and about the lawsuit of the NFL that is a present lawsuit. And then if you know anything about sports, you've heard in the last few days that Coach Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers hired Coach Flores as a senior defensive assistant. He got the job. And there has been some funny things being said. Not a lot, but it is. Let's go back. Y'all know that how the lawsuit came about. A text message from Coach Bill Belichick came on Coach Flores' phone by mistake. He thought he was talking to another Brian. And to make a long story short, the coach had already been selected they had scheduled an interview with Coach Flores to come in, but it was really essentially a waste of time because the decision had already been made. So they would just bring Coach Flores in just to, satisfy the Rooney Rule that's in place, where you have to interview at least one African-American coach. Every team has that when there's a vacancy in your head coaching job. So, it was just a waste of time. They brought Coach Flores there, spent 3 hours, the Denver Broncos, 3 hours, or just total waste of time because you had already decided who you want. So it's just a waste of time. Coach Flores sues the NFL. He's presently suing them now. And because you suing the NFL and he named some other teams, other owners, you're suing essentially the owners of the NFL. And that's just crazy to do, considering that you're risking your job, you're risking your career. And that's what Coach Flores said when he first put out his statement about suing the NFL. He said he realized that he is risking his career. In other words, he was saying, I understand I may not coach again. That's how bad it is. And it looked like that's where he was headed. I had said that he was going to get the Colin Kaepernick treatment. Essentially, what I was saying was that you had all these backup quarterbacks still getting jobs, and Colin Kaepernick was way better than a whole bunch of those quarterbacks that we saw, over the years get jobs. Colin couldn't get back in. That's because the owners secretly came together and made a decision. We're not letting him back in. He bowed down on the flag. He took a knee, and he's disrespecting the flag, as many people say, all that kind of stuff. And we're not going to let him in. Nobody is going to hire him as a backup quarterback. Nobody. And he has not. And Colin Kaepernick lost his football career for taking a stance. I thought that Coach Flores was going to get the same treatment for him taking a stance. Him going against the system, him going against the grain. I thought that he would get the same treatment. But Coach Mike Tomlin brought it on home. Coach Tomlin, who is an African-American coach himself, and this is where I guess where he gets sticky. See, Coach Tomlin suggested, essentially that he wanted Coach Flores to be on his staff. And the Rooneys, who are the owners of the Steelers, the Rooney family, obviously had to sign off on this because Coach Tomlin can't hire nobody. He can't write the checks. The Rooneys did it. The Rooneys hired him. And on that note, I believe that the Rooney family deserves a ton of credit because they did something that I'm quite sure some of the owners did not like. And that is hiring him and getting him back into the league. I just don't see how the owners and some members of the league are happy about Coach Flores getting his job back because he's going against them. And for the Rooney family to do that, I think that they should be, well commended for taking a chance like that because, like I said before, they didn't let Kaepernick in. And Coach Flores, who just guided Miami the last 8 weeks, won 8 games in a row to get them back in playoff contention. He's universally known across the league as a great defensive mind. He was on the staff with Bill Belichick for years. That carries weight. When you're on the staff with Bill Belichick for years, that carries weight. So he was a coach. Every player, most players love him. He's well respected. He's a good football coach, bottom line, which is what Mike Tomlin said. He didn't even go the route where I'm about to go, but I know it's there. He just said it's a great thing to add this type of coach to your staff. I agree with that 100%. That this guy is a great football coach. He is. He's a real great football coach. And when you add that to Coach Tomlin, you make your defense even better. And I believe that's what's going to happen. But what I want to say is this in these last few moments together tonight, that is bigger than that. It's bigger than football coach. It's bigger than his coaching resume. It's bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. See, Coach Tomlin is a member of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And we were raised in the fraternity taking care of our brothers. And I'm not talking, I'm just saying it's just in him that we take care of what we had our line brothers. That's our line brothers. In other words, those guys who pledged the fraternity with you. It's just in you. If you want to go Bible, y'all know I'm a preacher, so I got to bring this in. There's a scripture that says, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Y'all have heard that before. Am I my brother's keeper? I believe this is the area where it'll never be said, but I believe most people can figure this out. It's bigger than football. What it was that this man would not let his brother fall. Now, the Rooney family had to sign off on it, but it was Coach Tomlin that suggested it in the first place. And this was about not letting his brother fall. In other words, I really believe Coach Tomlin essentially was saying something like this: I got you back, man. I got you back. I got you back. I'm not gonna let them do it to you. If some kind of way I can get you in Pittsburgh, will you come? I believe it's bigger than that. I believe that he saw his brother dangling, knowing that this man should be a coach somewhere. He's more than qualified to be a head coach. But he knows that, a head coaching job probably ain't going to happen for him. So he going to keep him in the league, keep his check going, keep his money going, hire him as a senior assistant, keep his dream going, keep his heart involved in football because he wasn't ready to give up football, and he gave him the opportunity to come to Pittsburgh. I believe it really falls into the category of, am I my brother's keeper? I really believe that. Because you know how to use old 75, 80-year-old billionaire owners are, right? Yeah. You know how some of these owners are, right? These 80, they come from an era now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess this way it's going to get a little sticky here. They come from an era that, I'm not so sure. We saw one of the big boy owners lose his team in Carolina because we had to find out after all these years he was racial. No surprise. We're finding out now that the Miami Dolphin owner, he's starting to point to racial type things. We just saw this year Coach Jon Gruden, who was essentially the general manager. We all heard what he had to say. Oh, sooner or later, what's in you got to come out. Yeah. What's in you got to look. Colin Kaepernick went down on the knee. You had the former president of the United States calling him out of his name. And the owners just fell right in with him. So you do understand that there were more names that was called other than SOB, right? Y'all do understand that, right? Y'all do know that, right? And them guys made a bond. They made a bond. We're not letting Colin Kaepernick. No, he don't get a tryout. No, we know that this bag of quarterback ain't worth a dime. But you're not signing. We're not signing Colin Kaepernick. No, nobody let him in. Nobody. Can he play with the Jacksonville Jaguars? No. Sorry as they are. No. Can he be a backup to the Detroit Lions? No. Huh? Yeah. Can he play anywhere? No, we don't want him there. That's what they were going to do to Coach Flores. And I got to admit, I'm shocked that the Rooney family signed on to this. I'm shocked. I got more respect for the Rooney family. I hate the Steelers. But I got to tell you, the Steelers looking all right to me. I've always been a fan of Coach Tomlin, even though he was a Steeler head coach. But I got to admit, the Steelers looking real good right now. They are. Because I believe they may be the only organization that will give Coach Flores a chance. Y'all see that little stuff behind me. You see them stars on the helmet back there? You already know Jerry Jones ain't going to let it happen. That's my cowboy thing for the day. You already know Jerry Jones wasn't going to hire him, right? You know that, right? Jerry would go down and coach himself before he hired. He would go down there himself and work before he had bring in Brian Flores. I'm telling y'all the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Yeah, it's just the truth. And I'm impressed by the Steeler organization. I am. I'm happy that Coach Tomlin even called his name, and he had to do some selling, I'm quite sure. But he sold it. And the Steeler organization, the Rooney family in particular, said, okay. I'm shocked. I am shocked. I'm shocked. But I'm happy that this guy has the covering of Coach Mike Tomlin, who has earned the right to have this type of power and type of say. He's the longest tenured coach, I believe, now in the league. Coach Tomlin is, and for good reason, because he wins. I'm shocked. We're living in a time now where, and keep in mind, all of this, whether you want to admit it or not, all of this is stemmed in black and white. It's just that simple. The Rooney Rule is stemmed from systematic racism. Well, it is systematic sometimes too. Systemic racism. That's where the Rooney Rule come from. Like we only got one African American coach in the league, Coach Tomlin. That's it. But the league is dang near 80% black. Figure that out. And you have people in power that they don't have to say the N word. They can just show you better than they can tell you. Y'all just hear what I just said? They have the power. They're owners. And so what they can do is systematically devise ways to keep you down. That's what you're saying. That's why the black man can't get a coaching job. They're qualified. They can't get the job, though. And some folks don't want a black man leading them. They don't. It's a rarity. Somebody's going to say about Lovie Smith. It's very rare. Lovie Smith is on his third head coaching job. That's unbelievable because that just don't happen for us. Usually when the black man get fired, you don't never hear from him again. That's it. He done. Done. When the black coach gets fired, it's over. Can't get a job, hardly. Can't get consideration for it. So we're good for hiring for assistants, but we just can't get over the job. And that's why he's suing them. Like, y'all pushing me around, and I'm not the one to take it. So I applaud the Steelers. I applaud Coach Tomlin. I especially applaud the Rooney family for showing up and stepping up to the plate on that. All right. That's going to be it tonight. I did it. I ain't say nothing but the Cowboys, maybe about 3 minutes. I'm shocked. I appreciate those that hung with me tonight. I appreciate my people, my followers and my subscribers to the show who gave this was their show tonight. I appreciate them so much for supporting me and supporting the podcast. And I will do this again to my people who supported, where I will give them the opportunity to run the show like they did tonight. They wanted to talk about this. This is exactly what we talked about on this evening. No cowboy talk on the night. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you for hanging with me, man. Listen, I'm going to try to come to you guys Thursday. Come back Thursday, and then we'll do a show on Saturday as well. But look for me on Thursday. Turn your notifications on. I'll be with you guys right then and there, probably somewhere around the same time, 7:00. We'll be able to do it again. All right. Appreciate all of you. Again, look at the screen there if you want to subscribe to the show or Cash App. There it is for you there. $, the Big Time Show. The Big Time Show 3.supercast.tech is a way that you also can become a subscriber of the show. I'm on the monthly deal. If you're on Podbean, that red bag that you see, all you gotta do is click that and make a decision, and I would appreciate you so much. If you're not following me, at least follow the show. If you're on Podbean, go ahead and follow the show, and you get the notifications when I come on. Wherever you are, if you listen to this replay, again, you do me a great favor. You go to my YouTube channel, the Big Time Show channel, the Big Time Show channel, and subscribe that on my YouTube channel. I would appreciate that so much. It's right there. The Big Time Show. The Big Time Show is right there on the screen for you. Go there and subscribe to it. Click on that bell. When you do that, first of all, subscribe and then hit that bell, and that will give you the notifications, and it'll pop on your phone or your computer or whatever when I'm going live, like I am now. So if you would do that for me, for those that have not done it, I would appreciate it so much. Go to the YouTube channel, type in the Big Time Show. You'll see my face there. You'll see a whole bunch of my episodes there, and just subscribe. It won't cost you nothing. I appreciate it so much. Those of you that are listening on iHeartRadio, Pandora on the replay, appreciate you listening for this long. Thank you so much. We'll see you again on Thursday, probably at 7:00. Until then, everybody, y'all know how we do it now. Y'all know how we do it. There's no sense of y'all acting funny with me. We lead clapping our hands. Y'all know that. We groove out of here. We groove. That's what we do. We groove. That's how y'all. We go off, then we mad, and then we move on. All right. The background music is gone because it's time to settle in and go ahead and get the real music going. This is, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you Thursday. The Big Time Show. Let's go, Podbean. Woo! clap your hands. Yeah. Yes, sir. I see you. I see you, Mr. Woo! I almost want to sing right there. Boy, I almost got it. We'll see you Thursday. The Big Time Show.